like, what do you do about health tanks, right? Like, you have Calervo, you have Nidus, and you have Inaros as the primary ones. And then you have a couple who kind of want to be health tanks, but can't really. Valkyr obviously comes to mind. I think Corvex was kind of supposed to. Doesn't really pan out because he doesn't really have the survivability tools to do it. Grendel can kind of do it. But he has a shield, so I don't feel like either of them count, honestly. But primarily, like the three shieldless Warframes, one of them has Overguard in the form of Calervo. And that's fine enough. I think that Calervo becomes immensely better with the augment that he was given. I think that he doesn't really need to worry about tanking nearly as much. So I think that he's generally fine in terms of, like, oh, well, does he get one shot at level cap? Not necessarily. Granted, he still does have the issue of, like, he doesn't technically have... He just has a manual shield, honestly. And again, that's all just depending on how you want to play him. And how you build him for that exploit purpose. Because, like, I think he could do level cap. I think he would not have an issue with doing that, but... it's a matter of getting him there and getting him there safely. That concerns me. But generally out of all three, I think that he is probably the best off. Alright, let's go get this demo list here. Nidus is maybe the second best. Nidus has his own issues that are not really a part of this conversation. But, like, just strictly speaking from the way his passive works, I think he is fine. Although, like, arguably, I would actually say he might be worse off in Inaros than in some cases. Because the other problem with Nidus is that his base stats aren't really good enough to maintain him. Like, I think that Nidus needs higher, like, health and armor at least, so that he doesn't have to worry about getting his passive proc nearly as often. And also that one augment that basically says, oh, you get to actually deal damage to enemies, but your passive has a higher cooldown. I feel like that's such a bad trade-off. And it really does suck. Especially considering how hard Nidus stacks are to build. I think that is one of his issues, is that he needs to be able to build stacks faster without having to rely on 30 augments, because he has so many now. I think he has an augment for, like, almost all of his abilities. One, if not multiple. Some of which should honestly be base kit, but I digress. He also struggles massively with armor, but that's not really talking about survivability now, is it? And not his own armor, enemy armor. Oh god, the limbless. But, like I said, his passive is good enough, I guess. Granted, it would be nice if he could also benefit from something, but then we have Inaros. Inaros is in kind of a weird position. Because I think that he can actually do level cap. I don't think that that is unrealistic of him to do at all. Again, especially with his new augment that gives him a cheat death. That cheat death is really, really good. It's probably one of the better cheat deaths in the game. Outside of, like, Wukong's passive, I guess, because that doesn't really have, like, a limit to it. But that's kind of besides the point. Because considering it only has a 30-second cooldown, and for a lot of that time, you have invincibility with your Sandstorm. Like, he got Sandstorm, so he just gets invincibility, like, on command. so he doesn't really have to worry about that. And there are builds with his Sandstorm that actually let him do damage with it. So he can kind of function like that as well, and, like, not do terribly. And so, like, that's fine. Like I said, I think he might be one of the best off out of the group, just because he has the easiest time maintaining his lifeline, so to speak. Because between the fact that it's a very short 30 seconds and the fact that you can just Sandstorm for a lot of that, I think works out generally well in his favor. And he has the stats on top of it to be like, well, he doesn't really take crazy damage until, like, really, really, really late into level scaling. Like, I think the first time I, like, really struggled with Inaros, was around, like, 4,000-ish, which is insane in and of itself. And even then, he has Omakuji, which helps a lot now. He has access to Eclipse and Gloom. All three are amazing survivability tools that he can just equip. So I think that Inaros generally is the best of the three health tanks, contrary to popular belief. I think that a lot of people's perception of Nidus is very outdated. Like, again, you could argue Calervo, but I do think Calervo has a much tighter window in which he needs to do things, because the gate for his Overguard is much, much shorter. And he doesn't have that, like, big health buffer to help him either. So I think that that does play a factor. But like I said, again, it is between Inaros and Calervo. I'm Team Inaros, obviously. I'm biased, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But I just think that maintaining his passive with the giant buffer of health and armor works out better for a much longer time and is a lot less stressful than having to maintain, like, the 1/2 second of Overguard invincibility. Like, again, granted, his new augment does help with that, but even still. Like, blink wrong once and you're gone. And Inaros, I think, even into high levels, can take at least 1 or 2 bullets before needing to go down. And like I said, he is always getting topped off. He has plenty of armor, plenty of DR to get it there. But all three, again, obviously some of the problem is that, like, they're all basically just doing worse shield gating. Like, conceptually, a frame with a shield gate is going to scale better than any of the health tanks would ever, just because of how powerful the shield gate is conceptually. Granted, this argument does fall apart when you get something that does toxin damage, but that's, like, that's a different debate. I personally don't think toxin damage should ignore shields on Warframes, considering how Warframe is built now, but that, again, that's another topic. But what I really think that, like, health tanks aren't in that terrible of a spot. I think that they should be allowed to do what they do at higher levels, just because it's like, it would honestly help with the homogeny if health tanks were all allowed to have, like, something exclusive to them. Like, give them a special arcane where it says, you know, if you have under however many shields, right, you get a certain amount of damage reduction to your health. And, like, have it be base shields. So, like, somebody with, like, really, really low health, or really, really low shields could maybe take advantage of, like, maybe Grendel or something could, with, like, catalyzing shields. And, like, maybe he gets to use, and just have it be, like, a really just fat stack of DR that, is obviously multiplicative with other DR forms, but, like, would inevitably help push them in the long run. And yes, about cheat death, not Calervo. Dagoth. Yeah, Dagoth has the cheat death. I think her cheat death is fine. I think it's whatever it is. I played Dagoth semi recently. Like, I kind of understood her, but honestly, I was just very unimpressed by her. I'm sure that the mains will, you know, be up my ass about Dagoth, all 5 of them. They're like, oh, you don't understand, bro. She's totally this, this, and this. Like, yeah, no shit. I just don't have the time or energy to invest in her. When, like, I don't even personally like her theming that much. Like, she's cool. Like, I like her visually. Like, I just don't feel like her ability or kit speaks to me. But I digress. I think that health tanks in general are not in that bad of a spot as some people make it out to be. Like, obviously, they've taken steps to fix that directly. But overall, where they stand now, like, they all could probably go to level cap if, like, you had someone really sweaty and really dedicated to try. I'm sure it could happen. But as of where we are at the moment, I think that the people who want to do that, and the more important question of whether or not it's fun to play like that, because that's always been my personal issue with shield gating, is that it's not fun. It's really not fun to have, like, the hand on your shoulder, like, every 5 seconds, like, oh, tap, 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 and if you don't, like, move the hand off your shoulder, you just die instantly. Like every couple of seconds, like, oh, it's tapping your shoulder, it's tapping your shoulder, you have to do something or else you die. And, like, the ability to not just, like, relax when you are playing a shield gate-based Warframe is really what drives me away from playing them. Like, any Warframe that even has to, like, remotely rely on it, I'm really, really adverse against, because it's just not fun. Like, sure, you could call me lazy and whatever, but I just don't really feel the appeal of it at all. It's one of the reasons why I wasn't super big on Zaku, because outside of Zaku's 4, which, I mean, that does give them, you know, that dodge chance, whatever the hell it is, because, like, that's cool and all until you remember that, like, enemies have AoEs too, and then it becomes much less cool. Like, Eximus literally exists. So, I really don't see, like, I just didn't click with Zaku at all, honestly. So, like, that is one thing that I really hope they just fix in the future, is they make it so that shield gating isn't necessary for every frame that doesn't have, like, overguard or some other, like, big cheaty damage reduction or something. Like, I really hope that they just give Warframes better survivability tools. Maybe at the cost of being able to deal damage, I wouldn't mind that. Like, make them mods that would help with that, so we don't need to, you know, have that issue. Like, again, this is another point where I think corrupted mods could solve a lot in the game right now. I think that giving us brand new corrupted mods would really, really help. Again, corrupted mods that, you know, that conflate with, like, shields and health and armor and affect your other stats. Like, imagine, if you will, oh, this is a huge shield buff, like, bigger than primed redirection, but you lose power strength for it, right? Like, stuff like that. Where, oh, I might actually use that. Oh my god, that was again, see what I'm talking about? That's a lot of damage. I have 10,000 shields, and they just deleted it in one shot, basically. That's what I mean. Like, again, granted, like, having a lot of shields helps, but only so much, because what is 10,000 shields to a thing that does 100,000 damage? Even with damage reduction. Like, again, obviously having just higher stats would help somewhat, but I really don't feel like that's the solution to it. Like, again, it would help, but we need something more concrete. I think a mod that would extend your shield gate duration might be nice. Where, oh, your shield gate duration has a base increase of 5 seconds and scales with your duration. So that, you know, oh, hey, Warframes have more of an excuse to invest in, oh, duration, for example, right? I mean, obviously that might be a little bit broken, but... Like, there's a couple frames who have a very similar mindset. Loki's safeguard switch is very similar, where, oh, he gets invincibility for, like, a good, like, 20 or so seconds just by tapping 3 occasionally. And, like, that's so much more reasonable, I feel, than having to do it every, like, 5 seconds, right? Because of how short your overguard gate is. Or your shield gate is, rather. Like, again, this obviously stems from, like, the much bigger balancing problems that Warframe has, and, like, that's a discussion for a different day, but I think that there are very simple things that they could do to improve survivability across the board, while still keeping it interesting and not just making every Warframe invincible for no cost. Again, I think that having opportunity cost attached to it would, I think, be the best way to do it. Where, oh, you can do this, but it will eat up mod slots and an arcane slot. But, like, you can have comfortable survivability because of that, and, like, still maybe do what your frame needs to do.